Well, a beautiful Monday it is, at the 12th of January 2026, and you are watching the ICU TV Main news at 8. And before we get into the details, well, let's take a look at the stories that are making headlines. Now, Tazara, Zambia Railways Revitalisation. Well, Mungwi man jailed for stealing weed killer. And former Lumezi MP Munir Zulu still in custody despite serving sentence. And in international news, well, Sudanese army prepares offensive in Kordofan and Darfur. Well, not on the sports front, well, Kafue Celtic beat Aguila Stars in ZPL National League. And the news desk names Maluwa Eric J. Monamajan. Well, the 1.4 billion US dollars Tazara Revitalisation project is improving cargo movement and strengthening logistics links across the Copper Belt, DRC, and southern Zambia through seamless rail connectivity. Well, supported by government and partners, the integrated rail corridor is reducing transport costs while cutting delays and driving industrial and economic growth.
Today, we move to Ndola as the journey to revitalization of the Tazara Railway Prosperity Corridor advances. Okay, Deputy Secretary to the Cabinet for Finance and Investment, Siazonga Siakalenge, has been part of discussions at key sites. The delegation visited Ndola Railway Station right here and the adjacent Zambia Railways Limited storage and logistics facilities, assessing opportunities to integrate Tazara with Zambia's domestic rail network.
See that Cabinet Office as an apex institution for the government system, we are committed to ensuring that we facilitate and unblock any hindrances that will come along the way as we implement the project. Count on us if there are any issues that you come up with. Please let us know so that we can unlock.
Chinese investors on site included representatives from China Railway Construction Corporation and China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation, the companies leading the Tazara revitalization under the 1.4 billion United States dollars investment deal signed in November 2025. This matters for Zambia's economy and Copper Belt communities. Ndola is a major rail hub for mining exports, agricultural goods and regional trade. Upgrading and connecting these facilities will speed cargo movement, reduce transport costs, create jobs in logistics and maintenance, and support families reliant on rail-linked industries. Okay, it also opens doors for new investment.
And now, a 27-year-old man of Mungwi district has been sentenced to 4 months of hard labor after being convicted of stealing weed killer valued at 1,180 kwacha from his employer, Kalungwishi Sugar Estate Company. Well, the convict, Elias Walia of Nseluka village in Chief Chitimukulu's chiefdom, appeared before senior resident magistrate Willie Banda and was found guilty of theft by servant, beg your pardon. Well, the court heard that on December 15, 2025, in Kasama district, Walia stole 4 liters of matrix weed killer belonging to the company while acting in his capacity as an employee. Well, the offense was established when the matter came up for presentation of facts before the court. And senior public prosecutor Aaron Kuyeli told the court that the convict was found in possession of 4 bottles of the weed killer and failed to provide a satisfactory explanation when questioned. Well, the matter was reported to police, and after being interviewed in Pemba under warning and caution, Walia voluntarily confessed and committing the offense. Former Lumezi Member of Parliament Munir Zulu remains behind bars despite having served his custodial sentence and being granted bail pending appeal in one of his cases. Well, prison authorities say his continued detention is due to the cancellation of his remission, a move his lawyers are now challenging in court. Well, Mr. Zulu has since sued the Attorney General, alleging torture and inhuman treatment as legal questions grow over the lawfulness of his continued imprisonment. Mishek has more in the following report.
Former Lumezi Member of Parliament Munir Zulu remains in custody despite having served his sentence and securing bail pending appeal in one of his cases, a situation that has raised legal and human rights concerns. Mr. Zulu completed his custodial term in December 2025 and was granted 35,000 kwacha cash bail pending appeal in August 2025 in a sedition case. However, prison authorities have held on to his release, stating his remission, which allows prisoners to serve only 2/3 of their sentences, was cancelled, requiring him to serve the full terms imposed by the courts. In response, Mr. Zulu has sued the Attorney General, alleging that prison authorities subject him to torture, inhuman and degrading treatment, harassment, and denied him adequate protection while in detention. The former lawmaker's incarceration arises from several convictions in 2025. In April, he was sentenced to 12 months imprisonment for criminal libel, accusing 2 cabinet ministers of receiving bribes amounting to $250,000 in relation to the awarding of the Lusaka-Ndola Dual Carriageway project to Macro Oceans Investment Consortium at a cost of about $649.9 million. The project has been controversial, particularly over its financing model involving public pension funds and toll revenues. In May 2025, Mr. Zulu was sentenced to 18 months with hard labor for seditious practices linked to the claims that the president would dissolve parliament early. He later received bail pending appeal in this matter, but remained incarcerated due to the ongoing sentence in the criminal libel case. That same month, he also received a 9-month suspended sentence in connection with another sedition charge. The matter is now before the courts as Mr. Zulu challenges both the legality of his continued detention and the conditions under which he is being held. Reporting for ICU TV in Lusaka, I am Fune Mishek.
And now we go on our first break and we'll be right back for more news right after this. Do stay glued.
The Information and Communications University is driving the thrill for the nation in research and development. Enroll now for full-time and distance programs in the School of Engineering, Humanities, Business and Education. To apply, visit our website at www.icuzambia.net or call us on +260 211 221 662 or 0966 342 359. Sponsorship is available. Enroll now.
And now, in our local stories, Lusaka City Council Director of Public Health, Mr. Victor Kaguli, has emphasized the importance of educating the younger generation on peace as a foundation for a stable and sustainable future. Mr. Kagoli made the remarks after attending the HWPL Peace Summit held in South Korea on 18 September 2025 under the theme Uniting for Peace and Fulfilling Humanity's Duty Together. HWPL chairperson Mr. Lee Man-hee called for peace to be embraced as a core value in all aspects of life, while urging people to move beyond differences of color, tribe, and region and recognize one another as one human family. The summit brought together global leaders and civil society to promote world peace and strengthen cooperation through international law, interfaith dialogue, and peace education.
Director, what were your experiences at this HWPL World Peace Summit?
Thank you. Good afternoon. HWPL Summit was a very important summit to us as Zambia. Of course, we saw the collection in Korea of many countries world over, which was very, very important for us to implement our activities and to show that this peace summit is indeed not a regional or isolated, it's a world over kind of advocacy. So for me, one of the experiences came out, I think prominent, was that statement made by the chairperson himself, who actually emphasized the importance of the world looking at peace as an icon of every other aspects of our life. So, and many speakers also emphasized the point that we should come together as one. And this is the reason why God has allowed mankind to inhabit earth, that they should not be segmented. Doesn't matter the tribe, the language, the regionality, but as human beings we are one. So this Peace Summit really brought out these aspects clearly to us, that we are one, and that we need to get some kind of activities that breeds peace in our individual countries and collectively as a world.
Okay. So what are some of the key discussions that you engaged in during the summit?
Yes, some of them important were to see how do we achieve the peace that is required for the world. And literally, where do we begin from? So we realized that there was a bit of pollution in the adults. That's why we have wars all over the world. But then if peace is entrenched in the minds of the children, the peace is entrenched in the new generation, then peace will grow and will be enjoyed throughout the world. So I think one of the discussion points was
Well, and now to continue with the news, the Assistant District Electoral Commissioner, Victor Kagoli, has commended the Zambia Police Service for maintaining peace and order ahead of the Chawama parliamentary by-election scheduled for Thursday, 15th January 2026. He made the remarks during a stakeholder meeting that brought together uniformed officers, members of the media, and electoral officials. Mr. Kagoli said the calm and peaceful environment currently prevailing in Chawama reflects the professionalism and proactive approach adopted by the police command. He noted that the orderly campaign period so far demonstrates effective measures put in place to prevent and quickly address any form of disorder. The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has announced that it is in the final stages of preparations to undertake the 2026 delimitation of constituencies in accordance with the Constitution of Zambia Amendment Act number 13 of 2025. The Commission states that the exercise will be conducted with full engagement of stakeholders and is expected to be completed before the certification of the register of voters, which is scheduled for 30th April 2026 in line with the 2026 general election roadmap. The Commission has assured stakeholders and the general public that the delimitation process is being treated with the urgency it deserves to ensure its completion ahead of the certification of the 2026 Register of Voters. And this is further committed to continuously inform and engage stakeholders process and to provide timely updates as the exercise progresses. We now take another break and we'll be right back with international news. Do stay tuned. Welcome to the Zambia Research and Development Center, an institution dedicated to national development through capacity building and community development. Established in 2007 by a group of professionals and lecturers, ZRDC has since become a hub of research and innovation in the country. Registered with the Ministry of Home Affairs under the Registrar of Societies, ZRDC pursues cutting-edge research to address pressing social and economic challenges. Get involved. ZRDC engages in activities that stimulate international collaboration, promote knowledge sharing, and make research expertise available to decision makers. Our mission at ZRDC is to foster innovation and capacity building for national development. We believe in addressing poverty and underdevelopment through institutional and capacity building, human empowerment, and gender participation. In our quest to foster innovation and capacity building for national development, ZRDC launched the ZRDC University Sponsorship for Capacity Building and Development Program to facilitate knowledge advancement among ZRDC researchers and those intending to join the research community. Qualified Zambian citizens can pursue education at multiple universities in Zambia with guaranteed prospects of joining the ZRDC research community. ZRDC engages in industrial and technological research, covering research development and innovative investigations to drive dynamic industrial development at national and regional levels.
Join us at the Zambia Research and Development Center as we continue to innovate, empower, and shape a brighter future for Zambia. ZRDC, fostering innovation and capacity building for national development.
Welcome back, and now getting down to international news. Well, the Sudanese army has stepped up preparations for a major military operation aimed at retaking the Kordofan and Darfur regions from the paramilitary rapid support forces as the conflict enters its third year. Well, military officials say the army has been assessing the RSF's capabilities and describing the planned operation as more extensively prepared than the recent recapture of Khartoum. Well, reports from the ground indicate that troops have been reorganized and redeployed across parts of Kordofan, with the army already regaining some territory. Well, air and drone strikes have also been carried out against RSF positions in both Kordofan and Darfur, well, moves seen as early steps towards a broader offensive to reassert government control over the regions. While still in international news, well, Iran's foreign minister Arachi has warned that U.S. President Donald Trump's threats of military action if protests turned bloody have emboldened terrorists to target both protesters and security forces, creating conditions that could invite foreign intervention. Well, Arachi emphasized that such statements escalate tensions and risk further destabilizing the country. Well, Trump has repeatedly threatened to intervene in Iran, stating that he has very strong options as the U.S. military assesses the situation. Well, his administration is also maintaining contact with Iranian opposition leaders, signaling potential support for domestic unrest, which Iran sees as a dangerous escalation by foreign powers. And we now take our final break, and we'll be right back with sports news. Do stay glued.
The Information and Communications University is complementing government effort in promoting legal and safe mining for all Zambians. ICU is offering a short practical training course to artisanal and small-scale miners and those who intend to venture into mining. This training covers identification of rocks and minerals, mining operations and equipment, health and safety in mining, environmental protection, licensing and compliance. Qualifications: National Registration Card NRC. Apply now at www.icuzambia.net. For more information, contact the ICU School of Mines, Department of Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining at +260 763 302 596 or +260 973 263 492. For analysis of mineral samples, contact the ICU School of Mines Laboratory at +260 973 263 492 or +260 977 833 434.
Well, welcome back, and now in sports news. Well, Kafue Celtic recorded a 3-2 victory over Aguila Stars in a ZPL National League match with a winning goal scored in the 83rd minute. Well, the match was competitive, with both sides displaying strong performance before Kafue Celtic secured the result late in the game. And highlights of the match are available to watch live and free on FIFA Plus across mobile and television platforms. With that sports item, we come to the end of the main news at 8. And now, before we go, let's take a look at the stories that made headlines. And now, Tazara, Zambia Railways Revitalisation. Well, Mungwi man jailed for stealing weed killer. Former Lumezi MP Munir Zulu still in custody despite serving sentence. In international news, well, Sudanese army prepares offensive in Kordofan and Darfur. And in sports news, well, Kafue Celtic beat Aguila Stars in ZPL National League. Well, you've been watching the ICU TV Main News at 8, and I've been your anchor this evening, Maluwa Eric Jem Wanamjende. For more news updates, do catch us on our Facebook platform, that is ICU TV, and ICUTVZM.com, that is on our website. Please do have a lovely Monday. Good evening.